activates the GPS may not be in the right place. So I can use these two buttons to offset it to the left or the right a little bit. This button rotates that course 90 degrees, so I'm now running east-west rather than north-south. And these two buttons alter the angle very, very slightly either way. But I can use it to rotate 100 degrees. I don't like using those because I can never get it back online. This is the offset. If I press the O, it would cancel that blue offset, and the plus and minus allows me to move the offset either way. But if I've used automatic, I never have to mess with these unless I want to turn off the offset because I was accidentally not aligned. This lot all controls auto turns at the end of the field, which you can use or not on your own thing. And this is activate cruise GPS or not. If I turn the wheel, it will turn off the GPS tracking. So, example, turn it off and the GPS tracking went away. If I straighten the wheel up and press Ctrl W, it'll turn the GPS back on. And Ctrl W will turn off the GPS as well. So I want to do a full left turn here. Try not to tip the plough over. And we're going to flip the plough. Plough, flip. Come on. Why does it not want to flip? Okay, that should put it back in cruise mode. Puts it in plough mode, and for some reason, because I've got it lowered. Okay, now it'll flip. Do not try and flip the plough when you've got it cutting into the ground. So right now all I want to do is track straight along the edge of this field. So as much of the field area is ploughed as possible. I know a lot of people prefer using Culti-ploughs, which weren't available in Farm Sim 17 until the Kuhn DLC came out. And they give you a squarer ploughing area. But the downside of that is they don't have as high an operating speed. This plough will run at 9 miles an hour. Culti-plough's limited to 7. So the bigger the field, the more efficient a plough is going to be. Also, Culti-ploughs need a lot more horsepower than a regular plough does. Also, ploughs don't have as big a okay, we're now going to turn onto that line. So we missed a large part back there again. And as soon as we get to the end here, we'll turn back along the edge of the line. We'll do the rest of this field. Now the Farm Sim 17 GPS is a little bit different. The interface is different. It's written by a different guy. We did this one, so lift, turn about. Oh, too hard. Rotate. And drop that down there. to the edge of the field, because there is a slight bit over here we missed. Now this is possibly one of my favourite tractors. I do not like the sort of the flexible frame, like the 4-track and the Big Bud, where the whole frame flexes around the turn, rather than what this gives you is 4-wheel steering. And I'm not much of a fan of tracked tractors either, although I prefer them to the flexible frame tractors. And of the 4-wheel steering tractors I know of, you've got this one, which is the Class Zerion, the JCB Fast Track, the smaller model, and the Lindner Lintrack, which is only around 90 to 100 horsepower, so it is not very capable. Also, the Lindner doesn't have a full range of tyre options, so fertilising crops when they're grown can end up with you ripping your crops out of the ground. Okay. I could turn the GPS off, since we're not using it for the rest of this field. And that's that done. We now need to do the top, and we're good. Yeah, some of the earlier fields I owned on this map, I'd get the roller out and roll the edge of the field back if it caused problems for harvesting, planting, ploughing, that sort of thing. Primarily, I prefer to keep, if the worker can do it, that's great. If I have to, every single operation, come back to the field and go along the entire length of it because I couldn't drag the cultivator to the edge of the field because the fence was in the way. Okay. Go down here and we'll do a left turn to bring it around. Flip the plough that way so I get a better turn out of it. Okay. Where's the problem bits? Oh, no problem bits, yes. Why did I jump out? Right at the end there. that down, and that's this end done. Well, there's a couple of bits there we missed. A little bit there. There. I'm not going to go back down to the bottom of the field just for that. I am going to do this bit here, if I can see it. Right there. Okay, flip it back to the right. Then we can put it back in travel mode. There we go. Okay, so we are done with that. Let's go find the other one. Okay, so a quick thing on cruise control. Let's bring this over here. I'll line it up around there, just because. So, Control O, it's facing the wrong way. So first things first, rotate it there. We'll put it on auto width, and that puts it on 12 meters. I know this is a 12 meter cedar, and I'm going to adjust that width down to 11.7, which shifts all this. This is all marked off from the other end of the map. I would then adjust this over a bit. Now the problem is the tractor has to be within the red lines, so if I keep going it's going to jump the other way. So if I jump it back that way, actually that there looks like it's close to the edge of the field. Now I've moved over a little bit again. So if I turn the tractor hard over and hard back, that now puts me close enough along the edge. Now, the other problem, if I auto this now, this is not in a straight line. So what it's going to do is it's going to say my operating width is 11.1. and my tractor needs to be here in order for the piece of equipment to be centered there, which is obviously completely wrong. So I would turn off the offset. I need to make the width, oops, that's minus, up to 11.7 again. I'm not going to get it there, am I? There we go, 11.7 again. And we'll adjust this back where I want it. There we go. I could set up an auto turn at the end of the field, which is that, and that's going to turn left. So I click on that one and it would turn right. So as soon as it gets to the edge of the field, the tractor would pull 180 and come all the way back again. As soon as it gets here, it would alternate turning left and right as it went up and down the field. Then you would just turn on the cruise control, or sorry, the GPS. You can make the lines, the lines are flat, so they're actually level with the ground. If I click it once, it raises them, so if I'm harvesting, I can see where the lines are, and I can turn it off as well and assume they're in the right place. So that's a little bit more detailed about what it does. Turn that off, that's not going to do anything. I can click these two, which is also control left and control right arrow, or control left arrow, control right arrow, and manually make the left turn and right turn. Turn that off, we'll turn the tractor off. That's all set up for doing that. And there's the Zerian. And we'll take this back to the cow yard. The long way. Engine on. Oh, that pickup's going to be annoyed. Yes, there he is, coming back again. He's going to get annoyed and start honking his horn at me. Oh, and that pickup's also too close. And we can turn off the hazards. We'll keep the blinky lights on. So that's the entrance to the sheep farm, that's the entrance to the main farm. Now I do have farm tracks that I could be using to get to where I want to be, but frankly this is probably shorter, a little. Now I haven't actually messed around with the GPS on Farm Sim 19, and one of the reasons is it costs $15,000 to install it per tractor, and most of the farms I'm playing are very small with sort of 140 horsepower or less vehicles, and quite frankly I don't need the GPS. I can do most of it by sight, and even from inside the tractor, because I can see, the working width of the equipment either ahead of me or where it was last time. Sort of line up the left wheel along the path you just ploughed, and you'll get a fairly efficient run through. Around about the time you get to sort of 200 horsepower equipment, the width starts to get a little bit too wide for you to easily judge by eye. That's our cornfield on the left coming up. We'll be foraging that later. What I'll usually do is harvest the soybean fields and start foraging the corn, and then once the corn has all been, once all the soybeans have been done, I'll harvest part of the last cornfield so that I have food for my pigs. I believe Marwell is definitely, I can't see, I've hit a fence. Marwell is definitely the only farm, or is it? It was the first specific UK farm for 19. Since then, Oxygen David has been reproducing some old 17 maps. So, Oakfield Farm, which is a good farm. I never played it on 17 because I got too engrossed in this farm. Mercury Farm, which is Alien Jim's farm, it's not based on a real place in England, but it has the merits of he has made it so that the buildings that make up the farmyard are available as placeables. So if you start from scratch or go farm manager, all the yards are empty, but you can use the same buildings that Alien Jim did for new farmer mode to populate your yards. You can make them different, you can make them the same, your choice. He also allows you to cut down the hedges and fences and merge the fields very easily. So it's an interesting map. I have played some on it. What other farms are there? There's Growers Farm, which I don't think has been released yet. There's the Scottish Farm. Can't remember. But a lot of the UK maps are very essentially UK, and I like that. It's not like some of the American maps, which are just, well, here's a square, here's a bunch of square fields, get to it. And Ravenport isn't a real place in America, and it doesn't resemble any place in America I've been. Fellsbrunn, I couldn't say because I haven't spent a lot of time in Europe, but those are good maps because they work well with the workers, and it's just, they work well with the game, but they're not particularly realistic. That's what I'm trying to say. But a lot of the English maps are made by English people and are thus very typical English. But yeah, Marwell was the first 19 only map. You got things like Sandy. Am I going to hit anything doing this? Yes, I am. Okay. Let's go forwards. How do I do this? That way. Drive along the edge of the harvester. Okay, that's much better. Four-wheel steering makes it much easier to park stuff. How's that look? Pretty much on target, so I don't know how much gas or diesel we're going to be using in this thing in the coming days, so I'll fill it up now. But I would say any map with Oxygen David's name on it is usually a good map. From 17 I enjoyed, was it Coldborough Park Farm, I believe, was one of his, or Bullet Bills. Chellington came from their stable as well. I can't remember who made this map, but he stopped making maps very soon after Christmas of 2016. So the map got one update, and that was it. I never saw another map from this map maker. So it never got updated for seasons, which is a shame. I like the map. It's a really enjoyable map to play on. You know what I just noticed? I have to park the plough again. Okay, let's try that again. have sworn I dropped that off. I'm thinking what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to put this tractor on the mowing train, and I'll take the Axion off and put it on the bale collector. Okay. Let's try this again. Harvester. Oh, I didn't make it round that. And now we turn as close as we can. Too much. Not quite as good as the last time I came in here. I don't need to leave enough space for the cultivator to come out because I don't think I have any more ploughing to do unless I buy any more fields. Alright. So this time we dropped it off. Yeah, I noticed the plough looking in the rearview mirror when I got to this point here and turned right, and it appeared as I didn't do that, did I? Tomorrow night game time, we probably need to feed the cows again, so we need to make some more TMR. So I need to make sure that the Valtra's ready to go, done with baling and stuff. So the one regret I've got at the moment, I only have one mid-sized tractor that can run things like the baler. Oh, and here's the little hidden thing on this map. Scottish flag. Grass is slightly bluer and then white cross on it. This area starts out life as a pasture, which is sort of map grass. You can't fertilise it, you can't do workers on it. But I have, since I bought the end field here in front of us, 38, I ploughed it all together to make a field, which seriously increased the yield. Okay. Zoom that in a bit. So I don't really need this big tractor. Oops. The Axion is perfectly capable of working this kit, which is why I bought it when I started the farm, because I knew with a whole field of grass I went sheep very quickly, and come on, let's see. Oh, I'm still too far forward. There we go.